Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a brutally honest conversation on Capitol Hill. Senator John Kennedy grilled Harvard economist Edward Glaeser on housing. The exchange? Sharp, blunt, even a little funny. It revealed why housing remains unaffordable. Let's break it down.
Senator Kennedy, the floor is yours, sir.
Thank you all for being here. Professor Glaeser, you're head of the Department of Economics at Harvard? No longer. But you've taught there since 1992. Correct.
I think you need to turn your microphone on.
Oh, sure.
Thank you.
You did your PhD work at Chicago?
That's correct, sir.
Great school. You publish about 5 articles a year?
I don't know. I've published a few.
I appreciate your testimony because you not only talked about the problem, but you talked about possible solutions. No disrespect to anybody, but you know, revamping our appraisal process or title insurance or talking about power imbalances is not going to get homes built, not in a free enterprise country. Our problem is supply, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
And the main reason we have a problem with supply is because of land use regulation, isn't it?
I've been saying that for 25 years, Senator. Yes, I agree with that very strongly.
And land use, zoning, some would call it, is within the job description of, to some extent, state, but mostly local government. Is that right?
That's correct, sir.
And Congress has a history, it seems to me. You can disagree, certainly, if you do, of just throwing money at the problem and trying to tell local government how to get more houses built. And local government takes the money and pushes back because politicians at the local level, they like to eat and live indoors too, and they like to get reelected, and they don't want to make anybody upset by changing land use regulation in a way to encourage more housing. Would that be a fair assessment? My words, though, not yours.
I will not disagree with any of those words, Senator.
Okay.
Senator Kennedy starts off classic Kennedy style. Southern charm meets a courtroom cross-examination. He thanks Professor Glaeser, notes his credentials, Harvard PhD from Chicago. Then he cuts the fluff and asks straight up, "Our problem is supply, isn't it?" Boom, no jargon, just facts. And Glaeser? He agrees. "Yes, sir," he says, "I've been saying that for 25 years. The conversation quickly turns to what's actually holding housing back: local land use regulation. You might know it as zoning laws. Cities and towns have rules that make it hard to build new homes, even with high demand. Kennedy says Congress throws money at this problem, but local politicians push back. They don't want to upset their voters. Approving new housing makes neighbors mad. Politicians like their jobs, so nothing changes. The real villain is local resistance to growth. This next part is where things get interesting. Kennedy floats an idea inspired by Canada. States must increase housing starts by 3 to 5% a year. If you do, you get more federal money. If you don't, we take it away. That's the carrot and the stick. Glaeser supports it mostly. The tricky part is taking away already promised spending. But with new funding, it could work. Also, this can't just be about building anywhere. We need new homes where people want to live. Near jobs, near cities, near opportunity. Who decides where these homes should go? Glaeser says, don't leave it to a random agency. Lock it into the law. Use real data to find the most productive areas. Target growth where it helps the economy.
There's a plan that's been talked about in Canada. And what the Canadians have, they're talking about it. It hasn't been implemented, but the proponent of the plan, I've talked with Senator Warren about this, has said, look, we need to incent local government to increase housing starts, but we need to use a carrot and a stick. What if America had a law, Congress passed a statute that said, look, we don't care how you do it, states, but you need to increase your housing starts by 3, 4, 5% a year. Do it however you want to do it. If you do that, we will give you extra federal money. If you don't do that, we will take federal money away from you until you start doing it. Would that work?
If you're willing to champion such legislation, Senator, I'm willing to be behind you. I think there are challenges with that in the U.S. The difficulties of taking away spending that was already expected may be particularly hard. It may be easier to do with discretionary grants than with spending that's targeted. I also think it needs to be targeted not to the state's level of production, but to production in the most productive parts of the state. Right? We don't want California to meet its requirements by building in areas that are very far away from Los Angeles or San Francisco, and and so forth. But I think basically something that creates carrots and ideally sticks as well, that tries to encourage states to do the right thing. And from my perspective, the battleground of affordable housing is in places like the California state legislature. And I would love those legislators who want to do the right thing, who want to make California a state for outsiders, to be able to say, look, the federal government is pushing us in this direction too. Can we just not lose our spending for X? Can we do this? And I think that would be very powerful in the hands of state
Who would be best to decide the most productive areas to incent housing?
Kennedy throws in one last jab. Do you think our housing problem is caused by power imbalance? Glaeser pauses. I'm not sure I know what that means. Kennedy smirks. Me neither. This wasn't just about housing. It was about cutting through the noise and talking about things that work. So what can we take from this? Simple. America's housing crisis is real. The supply is low. We need bold policy and accountability. If you enjoyed this, give the video a like, and don't forget to subscribe for more smart takes. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.